In this CA thing, you have one goal. Impact. Yeah, when I know you are thinking money, I'm watching you. But you want to make a difference. You want to be a difference maker after all. An NPO sounds like a great first step to turning that ambition to make a difference, turning it into meaningful action. But how? What does it take? Who do you need to be? What steps do you need to follow to start and sustain a successful non-profit organization? Today, we are joined by Khethiwe Nene, social entrepreneur, founder of Khethi's Foundation, top 30 Young Mandelas in 2024, SAICA Trainee Trailblazer winner overall in 2024, and trainee at Deloitte. We chat about how her CA journey directly plugged into her dream of running a successful and impactful NPO, and how she started hers. We also chat about the story of her starting an events business during high school, the power of habits, hobbies, and coping mechanisms, her journey to the CA path from wanting to study actuarial sciences, and more. I hope you enjoy. My travelers on the road to CASA. Very quick one. Khethi started a foundation, Khethi's Foundation. Our guest today, Khethi. And that is what we talk about. We talk about the foundation. It is the epitome of her mission, right? It's the embodiment of her mission, which is to end GBV in South Africa, or at least combat it to the best of her ability. I think she takes something that we theoretically look at in the textbooks and in our lecture slides, active citizenry. She takes it to action, to heart, to implementation. And Khethi's Foundation is that culmination. She's also recently, through Khethi's Foundation, started a new campaign, the Transforming Mentalities campaign, which is directed at young men, high school men, and it's a mentorship program. So if you are interested in potentially plowing back into the young men, plowing back into their sense of value, virtue, character, to be responsible custodians of the future, and to be men of character for our women, please check out Khethi's Foundation, linked in the show notes. With that, on to the episode. Welcome back, my people. This is the Road to CA podcast, the show for aspiring chartered accountants to inspire, empower, and inform the difference makers of tomorrow. No, like, I wish I had the board for today, because guys, today we're joined by a woman of not just power, but purpose, man. She is a CA trainee at Deloitte and founder of Khethi's Foundation. And because of her spirit of service and action, she has also been recognized as the SAICA Trainee Trailblazer for 2024. Notice, I said the SAICA Trainee Trailblazer. You know how like there's many trainee trailblazers in terms of the finalists? I'm talking about the overall winner. And she was also recognized. Come on. This is my job. And she's a News 24 30 Young Mandela as well. Top 30. I guess it will be top 30. Top 30 under. Under 30.
The pressure.
We're joined by the champion of the fight against GBV. But most importantly, she is a wife, child of God, a advocate for GBV or against GBV. And her mom is her world, by the way.
She is.
She loves to read also in her spare time. We're joined by Khethiwe Nene. Khethi, how are you?
That intro. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. Alunga, how are you?
I'm great. I'm excited. Obviously, this is such a great conversation. It's been manifesting for like...
It's been manifesting.
Like a good year. Like, yo.
We've been planning this conversation, and I guess this is the right time.
It's God's time. It's the time. It's the time, man. And yeah, I had to give you that because we need to see from others what we've been doing. I think especially doers, I don't think they have they just don't have the perspective to kind of say these things, because you actually care about what's being done, and you're like sort of in your life today, and you're like, okay, I'm auditing right now, I'm doing my thing, I'm doing my work, I'm acting. And so obviously you're not going to reflect and see all this body of work that is my job to showcase and show the people. So I know you're a bit shy as the successful ones are, as the true successful ones are, but let's go back a little bit. No, shy in that way, not shy for your purpose, but shy for yourself.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's rewind.
Okay.
To where CA began for you. CA. Where the whole CA thing started.
It began. The story will not be like any other CA.
Okay.
I wanted to study actuarial science.
Oh, I've met some.
Yeah, and obviously it has,
it's hectic.
The entry requirements,
yes,
which I did meet. I was provisionally accepted, adverts, and something took a turn when I wrote matric finals that I still don't know what happened. And so I wasn't accepted, and now I had to go into my second option, which second and third options were placed blindly. It was just to fill up that application, I really, really didn't. And that was Bachelor of Commerce General.
Sure.
Go to the first lecture and they speak about if you want to be a CA and your marks qualify, your APS score, go now. There's a cutoff.
Sure.
And obviously I just assumed Bachelor of Commerce was accounting. And so I go, and because I know my APS score aligns, and now I'm converted into. And now the first year is obviously I had to forgive myself because I'm doing something I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
I didn't plan to do.
Yeah.
I mean, accounting was my highest mark in high school, but anyone who's done this journey knows that accounting is not. It is not accounting.
Yeah.
So the first year is more around forgiving myself and trying to heal, really.
Sure.
Because I'm someone who's very, very hard on myself. So it was a huge knock on my academic confidence and performance, which I think still plays out now as I prepared for APC and all of that. I think it plays a factor, and it's just, I'm grateful that I'm aware of it now. So that was first year. And it's also fun in games. Oh, first year is for fun,
Yeah.
I also meet my partner. It's just fun.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's fun.
But also so interesting how, you're married now.
Yes.
And you met that person in first year.
Yes.
And we, in the talk of like this corporate thing and career thing, we forget how those gaps, those meandering moments, like they are some of the most formative, very interestingly.
Yeah. And I think from the home that I've come from,
sure,
I've always been taught to always apply an aerial view to everything. So bird's eye view, looking from the top all the time. So as much as my mom really encourages academic excellence and all of that, I mean, she wishes I studied it. But thank you to my younger brother. He saved me. Sure. He studied it and he's done well.
Oh, so we've got the actuary.
Yes,
we've got this chartered accountant. Okay.
So going back to what you're saying is the conviction. I think we can fast forward to the point where I made a decision that, okay, now I want to pursue this journey. And
when was that?
I think it was 2020.
Sure. And that would have been second year?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And also COVID, also when I started the foundation, you know, it's a lot of things.
We'll get there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, I went to Wits. They always bring guest speakers here and there, you know, to just pump up the motivation. I'm successful. And yeah, I think it's also something, oh, nice. And I move on because, like I said, I've always been intentional about reading about people. So I'm like, oh, I know successful people. I know they have their own models. They have, you know, everyone is just a different perspective. I was aware at that point that I need to start something to do with GBV and not an organization. It was never meant to be an organization. And that sort of thing is now me researching about like why, because this is what we do as NPOs is the government's job.
Sure.
So why is the government failing its people? Okay. I mean, that's where the analysis and the interest starts. So I start researching about that. Why do we have this big problem? What do I come up with? The big problem in South Africa? Oh, no, there are funds that are allocated to these things, but there is corruption. Corruption, we know, our country and corruption, right? And so there's mismanagement and abuse of funds that are meant to be allocated to help people. And then the principles I learned in the accounting field, I'll say broadly, but more audit around ethics, then became
Was that in practice or in your studies even?
In my studies. So in practice, like, so really, how do we solve corruption? Just be honest, just be transparent. But obviously, people are not doing that.
Okay, but this was now second year, right? When you were sort of coming to terms with the CA thing.
Yes.
Okay, we've cried, we've grieved the actuary.
Yes.
Now we're thinking, okay, let's consider this. So we're dealing with King at this point, right? King for governance. What were we dealing with around
CPC?
CPC. Okay, CPC.
CPC.
Makes sense. Code of Professional Conduct for those who don't know.
And I think the lecturer who was presenting it at the time was saying that, like, it's going to be a boring lecture. And also for many of us, we think that all of this is obvious because, I mean, we have that natural moral, you know, compass.
Yeah.
Until you are in a scenario where you have to apply it, even if it costs you, right? And it's at that point where I knew that if people who ran social impact initiatives or who had the advantage of having funding that can really make a difference understood that principle right there to say this has to be your brand and your character ethics, your brand and your character. I mean, I can forget to quote all 5 of them, but integrity becomes my character. And it's not something I'm trying to do to convince someone that I'm a good accountant. And then for me, I just felt like if I understand accounting, so now financial accounting, taxes, and obviously we all know tax exemptions for NPOs, and auditing being the basis of governance. But I think, the subject that I struggle the most with, but I love the most, you know, that subject. If only you knew how much I love it.
Sure.
So management accounting, and that's around like planning, you know, divisional performance, all these things. It all just clicked along at that point that I need all these skills to actually run or be the first to run. I'm sure there are existing NPOs that are actually, you know, ethical and running well. But I was making that decision that I want to be one of them.
Sure.
Where I am not only someone who's always interested to take people's money, you know, but someone who can be able to communicate value for their money to someone else, to plan that strategic planning. And even in our founding core pillars of GBV, detection, prevention, and correction, anyone who does auditing well and really knows always makes that joke that, yeah, you're a real auditor, to be calling them detection, prevention, because that's the control language. It didn't even click at that point when I was saying that, but it's because I was sitting down to analyze that, how do we solve gender-based violence sustainably? Not just how do we run a pad drive.
How interesting, like, you're talking about prevention, detection, correction. You don't even know. It's like all in your psyche. It's like so unconscious. You're talking about sustainability. It's like, you know, see? Triple bottom line, people, planet, profit.
All these things, yeah.
Hey.
It ties. And then I saw the value in accounting.
Sure. Okay. This is so huge because I actually wanted to ask about, to actually just preface the question. We often have this misconception that non-profit means not business.
Yeah.
And therefore we treat non-profits like just passion projects, just hobbies, just volunteering, as opposed to enterprises.
Yes. And I mean, it's the culture we've grown up in.
It's the culture, and also like, you know, if you're just a little impressionable kid and you're like non-profit, and you've always heard profit is like business, you know, daddy who makes profit, then you're gonna think non-profit's different, but it's actually all the same. Like, but how now do you think? Because you've started businesses as well. You've actually been in business too. Yeah, your events business.
Yes.
How would you say? So you obviously, with that CA context, you were kind of pairing this already entrepreneurial Khethi with now the CA skills, the professional tax, etc., etc.
Yes,
you're pairing those together and saying we're going to become the greatest manager or CEO of an NPO in that way.
Yeah.
What would you say are the skills that have transferred into Khethi's foundation from all the experiences that you've had, including CA, including your entrepreneurial ventures as well?
I started a tutoring, I wouldn't say it a company.
Sure. You started a tutoring venture?
Yes. And that was intentional to fund a business because I knew how much the assets would cost to start it up. I'd been working for an events business at the time as a means to make extra money. So that was how that led to the business. And the business...
Wait. So you're working in an events company?
Yes.
You're basically being employed?
Yes.
Now you're getting like... You're learning the ropes there?
Yes.
Shucks.
And throughout high school, because I saw how good I am, that's when I invested in all the certificates. So I have a certificate in draping, flower arrangements, balloon work, all that stuff. Because I was realizing that
pretty good at this. You know?
I'm pretty good at this.
And people kind of like want it or something?
Yes.
People kind of like want it. Exactly. So now you've been working there in high school. You get all those skills there. But then you raise through starting a tutoring business. Yeah. That's how you raise capital. Yeah. And then you start your own events business.
Yes.
Flip. No. Because I think I just even want to just contextualize that for people about how you just got to get down to what's needed in the moment. Like if you, and I love that you worked in a business before. If you're like a young person and you've never been in a business, get in a business first. Like even part-time, and figure out, okay, what are the things that move the needle in the business? Figure out how much they cost, raise through tutoring, whatever you can do.
Job shadow, yeah.
This is literally a playbook that you could copy.
It's
interesting.
For me, it was definitely, but I think there is, what do we call, that maximum point of learning where a lot of the learning in entrepreneurship has to be your experience, your own journey and experience. Yeah. So that was the entrepreneurial mindset is there. If anything, one of an award I talk about a lot actually, and no one cares about it because like you were in grade 6.
Sure.
But it's something that it gave me a different validation. We had a project to run. I was in a government school, so we had a project to run, and it was like the best whatever, the top 3 of the school, whatever, goes to compete with the other schools, and then the Department of Education is gonna award. Oh, Sana, don't come at me with a competitive spirit, okay? I will compete. I will compete, right? Especially in stuff like that. Like I those things, they challenge me because I know that if I am not the winner, I will be standing amongst them.
Sure.
So I'm always fighting for those opportunities, and a lot of the funding from the foundation comes from competitive grants. Anyway, so I'm there with my dad and I'm like, ice cream, it's ice cream.
Sure.
Creamy twirly. My dad says it till today. When are we opening creamy twirly? I was just too invested. Normal EMS project. And you forget the project and then you get told later in the year, oh, actually, Khethiwe, you've been chosen for this thing. We go.
Sure.
And I present my lungs out. And then I don't know what happened. This happens all the time when I end up winning. I just have this sense of, I didn't really do it well or whatever. Sure. It's weird.
Is that a strategy do you think that's a strategy? Because
I think my mind plays games with me. It's like my mind, I'd rather not affirm myself now. I'd rather prepare myself for disappointment.
Exactly. That's a coping strategy. So the way that I believe we are creatures of not just habit, but hobbies and coping mechanisms. So obviously, like our habits, I even think of habits as like as the extrapolation of your life. If you look at your habits within like a week, you can extrapolate where your life's gonna go, right? In that sense. But I think we forget about 2 things that are probably just as effective. They're just as important, which are hobbies and coping mechanisms. So hobbies would be like the fact that I'm sure on some level the part-time jobs and the entrepreneurship, that's like it's sort of a hobby for you. There's hobbiness in it, in that,
like I love to help other entrepreneurs or someone who's starting their own thing. I love to help them like at a short-term basis because I can easily think
it's a hobby for
like
you.
that.
You see?
Yeah.
But like I also don't believe. I think you're the same as me. I don't necessarily believe in the notion of a hobby. I believe in living life and doing everything with your full life. So, but I know you're like that, like me. But at the same time, this podcast thing is a hobby. It's a hobby, right? Although I love it, right?
Yeah,
and I love to do what I'm doing, but it's a hobby. Your hobbies, they can determine your whole life. Like Khethi's foundation. I mean, look what it's doing. Look what the podcast is doing.
Yeah.
Coping mechanisms now, which is sort of what was happening there. Coping mechanisms is what you do when you're under stress, when you're under pressure. And there's a certain psychological pressure that we have when we don't know if we're going to win or lose. We're unsure. And when we're unsure, the way that we can cope with that is say, I'll probably lose. So you don't have to deal with the pain in the same way if you said I was going to win and then bah!
It's interesting you say that because that's exactly what happened with me in matric. I've been getting distinctions. I've been like, I've been that girl. How am I, how am I not going to get these things? And I'm at this private school on a scholarship. I'm also the first, like, in my family. It means so much. This is obvious. I'm going to. That was, it became a hard knock. And as you say that, I'm saying, you're saying it's a coping mechanism, but it's one that I'm very unconscious of. And I'm trying to be more conscious of. I think I will be the next time I enter a competition or whatever. But it's something I'm completely not conscious of because I come from the extreme side. Where I just knew I would win. Why wouldn't I win? I'm Khethiwe. Why wouldn't I win? My dad would say you Khethiwe because it means the chosen one, right? That's what my name means. Yes, like that, my dad. Oh, wow. And I grew, that's the self-image and self-belief I had myself. And those matric results were a hard knock to that. And so you're right. It's probably an unconscious coping mechanism. But that's what happened that day. And then they announced, and I'm like, yeah, at least top 3. When they moved past my name in top 3, I knew, okay, definitely not me. And then they go top 1, Deloitte primary. They go Khethiwe. Yo. I was just like, and it was called Entrepreneur of the Year award, right? So
Sure.
And it's like, we're not really entrepreneurs. This is like the Department of Education's calling us entrepreneurs.
But it's nice, man. It's nice. It's nice.
But I looked at that trophy. My mom, obviously, a very proud moment. So I looked at it all the time. And then obviously, I think, part of my story is getting into St. Mary's through scholarship, which was the Allen Gray. And literally, Allen Gray scholarship is all based on and cultivating an entrepreneurial mindset. But something else that people don't say about the Allen Gray scholarship for me that I learned is also being a responsible citizen. Responsible citizen and an entrepreneurial mindset. They literally believe that our country's problems will be solved by people who have an entrepreneurial mindset and are responsible citizens. Whether you're employing that mindset in the context of a corporate job doesn't mean that you can't display an entrepreneurial mindset, or whether you're taking it, quite literally, and you're running, and starting your own enterprise. So, that's
so interesting. So now, firstly, entrepreneurial, I think we didn't get on skills. It's more mindsets that we talked about.
Yeah.
An entrepreneurial mindset, which obviously, I think mindset is just, it really is where everything starts. Everything falls from mindset, like the skills and everything and learning and growth in general. But it's an entrepreneurial mindset. But then you added this other one that you learned, which is the mindset of a responsible citizen.
Yeah.
That's a big one because that's probably what ignited, or that was the makings of what ignited that vision of seeing CA as a means to becoming the best non-profit entrepreneur you could be, the best social entrepreneur you could be.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't have those two kind of pillars of entrepreneurial mindset and responsible citizen, you probably wouldn't have stuck on the CA thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Probably not. Now, you've also had quite a colorful journey till now. Right? You've had similar to me. You've had the one that's like people like the boring 7 years, but some of us we take the scenic route.
Why don't you top up a year?
Just top up, man. Just top up. You're like, ma'am, can you repeat that? It's like, what? What? No, just repeat the whole year, ma'am. The whole year.
It sounds better when you say it the second time, ma'am.
What was that? Can you tell us about that? Because I think it also links into a lot of what you exude, which is the non-linear way. You spoke of even that aerial view of being interested in people who are outside your space, and it actually speaks to that thing of yours that's kind of multifaceted, that's not in a specific lane. Like I know I'm saying this, I call you social entrepreneur, but you're obviously more than that, right? And I know that, but what was that journey, that colorful journey up till now in your academic route?
Yeah, so I failed.
To be continued in part 2. See you next week.